Heyo everyone, Misha B. Barkin here. I've definitely voiced my thoughts on Nick Wilde from Zootopia and how he was partially responsible for me making the final dive into furriness. He's hot, that's what I'm trying to say. That said, I like to imagine I've been fairly normal about my infatuation for the cartoon fox. And obviously I'm not alone. Mr. Wilde is a very popular character in furry spaces. That said, the other main character, Judy Hopps, is also fairly popular. I've never been a huge fan of her, but hey, to each their own. But some people took it too far.
Hey now, this is what dreams are made.
Say hello to Nick, aka JudyHoppsL0vr69. I've been wanting to make a video about this guy for the longest time, as the lore around this person is seemingly never ending, but the timing never felt right, and I was usually busy with other things. But I think it's finally time to cover this topic and give an overview of the saga that is JudyHoppsL0vr69. From his obsession to the bunny officer, to a Disney lawsuit, faking his death, and making music, there's a lot to cover today, so without further ado, let's dive on in.
Thousands of years ago, these were the forces that ruled our world.
Nick, or JudyHoppsL0vr69, is a senior in college who is majoring in acting. He used to go by Nick Salad on TikTok and still does on other sites, but after 2021, he made the switch to the account name and theme we see today. Why did he do it though? Apparently in 2021, his For You page was showing a lot of videos around the Hear Me Out trend, where you share your craziest character or person you'd, Zootopia and Zoingaboing with. Nick saw this trend and thought it'd be funny to make one about both Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, and like with many TikTokers, posted it as a silly little joke for his friends and him to laugh at. While it started with both, Nick was slowly faded out in favor of just Judy, which, wrong decision, man. But something strange happened the more he posted and joked about it. It started gaining traction. Lots of traction. This caused Nick to make the decision to really lean into this and take on the persona, or fursona I guess, of JudyHoppsL0vr69, with all his videos having an obsessive theme over, you guessed it, Judy Hopps. This video blew up. Hell, I remember when I saw it for the very first time, and from the very start, I was like, I'm gonna have to make a video about this guy, aren't I? The account as a whole saw crazy growth over the next few years, garnering over 2.1 million followers as of the writing of this script. So needless to say, things seem to be going well for our— So I was gonna do a bit where I was like, things are going well for our insert scientific name for bunny lover Nick here, but no fucking way am I gonna pronounce that right. Jokes aside, things were going really well. So well, in fact, that he was seemingly noticed by Disney and invited to a Zootopia 2 premiere.
It's called a
Before we talk about that, though, we have to discuss his IRL police work. Seems like he took on some traits of his bunny cop crush. Now, no, he isn't actually a cop, so don't worry. But he did supposedly catch a January 6th attendee admitting to being there and having, quote, rope, duct tape, a hacksaw, and a hammer in his trunk. To give context, he made an account on the dating app DateRightStuff, which is, you guessed it, a dating app for Republicans.
The persona name I decided to use is none other than Judy Hopps. So I decided that I would give you a deep dive into my The Right Stuff account. For the profile picture, I decided to use a very one-to-one cosplay from someone named Mermaid Talia on Instagram. Go check her out. I think it's giving Republican, you know, it's giving like pick yourself up by your bootstraps, but it is still staying true to the character that we have, which is, of course, Judy Hopps. For my bio, I said that I am a police officer in training, in parentheses, back the blue, 4'2", and I want to try everything with you. And for my hometown, I said Bunnyboro. There are 3 prompts that you can use on The Right Stuff. The first one I chose was a quick rant about, and I wrote, against the savage predators hiding out among our society, as well as the rampant drug use in our city. For the next one, I chose my favorite line from a movie, and I kept it classic and said, it's called a hustle, sweetheart. Short and simple. For the last prompt, I chose my favorite Bible verse, and I wrote a really deep cut here. I said, birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I think that could be a Bible verse. Lastly, The Right Stuff allows you to play music on your profile, so of course I have Try Everything from Shakira playing on mine. Just because I think it's a nice touch. So yeah, I will update you guys if I get any matches, and here is your final reminder to always make Republicans' lives harder.
And update us he did, oh boy. He posted a TikTok in July of 2023 where he describes matching with someone whose profile included a picture of him at the January 6th Capitol riots, and through a bit of back and forth, he was able to get the guy to describe his experience there. "I look back on it often as the best day of my life," the man wrote, and stated that he wished it had gotten more violent. "I wish we had taken America back by the ballsack like God had intended for us to do, and then maybe we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in now. Just between you and me, I had rope, duct tape, a hacksaw, and a hammer in the trunk of my car." He called them special tools, reserved in case he was able to get his hands on either Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or President Joe Biden. People, of course, in the comments pressured Nick to contact the authorities about this, as this was evidence that someone was prepared to harm official government figures. Nick replied to one, saying he is genuinely confused as to what I can even do with this while I don't even have this dude's last name. This is a decent point, but also it's likely that the man had to provide his last name to make the account, so it wouldn't be a problem for law enforcement to figure that out. As far as I can tell, no one's really sure if Nick went to the authorities with this at all, or if any of this was even real. As stated before, he is an actor, so he could have been doing an elaborate bit to garner views and for entertainment purposes. He never really mentioned this again that I could find, so let's get back to discussing Nick and his complex relationship with Disney.
It's called a hustle, sweetheart.
He posted this video on May 11th, 2023, but would post a follow-up video on the same day with more information.
Hello, my name is Nick, but I am professionally known as JudyHoppsL0vr69 on TikTok. Recently, I got a very scary, very threatening Instagram DM from Disney, reading, "Hello, Nicholas. We have seen your TikTok page and would like to have a discussion. What is the best way to contact you?" Now, if you're following me or if you're familiar with my content, you already know this, but if you're not, I have made a working list of every vile, heinous, and possibly criminal thing I have done with my TikTok. Pause to read. Now, for anyone who is watching this video right now, who is a lawyer, who has been to law school, or who knows anything about the law, I've developed a list of questions that I would like to ask you. The list reads, Number 1, does what I'm doing fall under the definition of copyright? Number 2, can I get sued? Number 3, if I can get sued, how much can I get sued for? And number 4, while I'm waiting for them to respond with further information, can I still make TikToks of this nature? That's all the questions that I have to ask you. Please let me know if you know anything. I will keep you updated.
I'm gonna leave the list right here while I talk because the list of heinous acts is really f***ing funny. Some of the people in the comments did answer Nick's questions, and the general consensus seemed to be that no, they don't have grounds to sue, they can't sue him, they can't sue for more than he has, and he can continue making TikToks about Judy Hopps. Now, of course, this could be a fake DM, but apparently this isn't the first time Disney has reached out to someone via Instagram DMs. Apparently someone named Hassan Kader, who used a Mickey Mouse puppet in a lot of his videos, also received a DM and a call from Disney, but it was simply to remind him that he was not allowed to sell any Mickey Mouse related products. And if this is real, that appears to be the case here too, as Nick would post another TikTok of him on the phone with what appears to be a Disney rep who reminds him that he is not allowed to make merch involving Judy Hopps. He made an even more recent video though, saying that he received a cease and desist about his handle, and that he'd likely have to change it. Now the profile picture and username did change to Nick and a picture of himself, however the handle is still JudyHoppsL0vr69, so there may have been some truth to the cease and desist, but it could have also just been an excuse to start a slow disconnect and rebrand. Before he could make that rebrand though, tragedy would seemingly strike Nick in June of 2024.
Blood, and death.
All right, you know what you're milking it.
So I was invited to the Zootopia 2 premiere in November of 2025, but I don't think I can go because Ginnifer Goodwin, the actress who plays Judy Hopps, currently has a restraining order against me. I got a call from a Disney executive inviting me to the Zootopia 2 premiere, and I thought it was a joke. So I called back, and turns out it wasn't a joke. They really do want me at the Zootopia 2 premiere. They are preemptively inviting influencers and special guests. They sent me email confirmation too. They said that they would love to have me there, and I would love to go. But there is one problem. Ginnifer Goodwin, famously Judy Hopps, has had a restraining order against me ever since she found this account. And I have received multiple emails from her team, specifically one guy, his name is Bob, threatening me, telling me that if I ever break the restraining order, I will never see the light of day. And I don't even know what that means. But going to the Zootopia 2 premiere would be a dream for me and for my brand. So the question is, do I risk legal action and possibly death by going to this premiere, or do I not? More at 11 o'clock.
Little did Nick or anyone know that day would seemingly arrive much sooner than anticipated.
Hello, fans of JudyHoppsL0vr69. This is Nick's sibling, Eslin, just hopping on to say that Nick has sadly passed away after a tragic accident. And first and foremost, he really appreciated all the love and support that he received on his TikTok journey from everyone. And I just know that he's gonna miss every single one of you. So I thought it would be best to do a retrospective of some of the best moments of JudyHoppsL0vr69.
Here she go, either a little too high or a little too low. Got low self-esteem and vertigo, 'cause she thinks she's made of candy.
This video was posted June 15th, literally 2 hours after the previous one, and seemingly marked the end of an era. This announcement got millions of views, with people in the comments unsure how to react and whether or not this was satire. As it stood though, Nick had passed away, and thus the JudyHoppsL0vr69 saga came to an end. Until a post went up the following day. Just a black screen, the letter H, and background noise. People had no idea what to do with this. However, at some point the consensus seemed to be that he wasn't actually dead. This would be confirmed 2 days later, as Nick would post the following.
Hello all. A lot of you probably have a lot of questions, and I'm gonna do my best to give you answers. Now, a lot of the details are still blurry, and my memory is a little bit fuzzy, but I am of the full belief that the Walt Disney Corporation corroborated with the US government to kidnap me, and then fake my death to my friends, family, loved ones, and the entire internet. Now, as for proof, I don't currently have any, but as soon as I do, as soon as I have a kernel, there will be a lawsuit.
Look, I'm not gonna beat around the bush, he faked the whole death thing. If Disney actually tried to whack you, you wouldn't hop online and be like, I lived, bitch. Like, dude, you would be mega dead at that point. As we've seen with Boeing, big corporations do not f around with whistleblowers. Also, him reading the quote-unquote supportive comments really sealed the deal for myself and most others about this being satire.
Regardless, I think the silver lining of all of this has been the outpouring of love and support from this community that has proved that it really does care about me. For example, WetQueef69 left a comment on my video saying, "Thank God he's dead. Been counting the days." Another one, Squids left a comment saying, "I know he's looking up at us right now." These kind and empathetic comments mean the world to me. It would also mean the world to me if you donated to the link in my bio. This is Maha. She works as a nurse in the Gaza Strip, and she has a husband and a 2-year-old son named Noor. Maha and her family need donations to escape Gaza and rebuild their future. You can learn more about their story at the link in my bio.
Long story short, he faked the whole thing, the premiere invite, his death, and the supposed kidnapping. He posted more cryptic things on the following weeks, such as 3 more black screens with the letters E, L, and P, a word search puzzle that had words like taken hostage, can't escape that Area 51 place, and don't fuss, monsters can't replace me. Lastly, I want to say that at the pinnacle of all of this, with all eyes on him, putting a link to help donate money to Gaza is so incredibly based. There were other creators and friends who made TikToks and videos in tandem with Nick's kidnapping arc, which created sort of a murder mystery ARG for many people, though I don't really have a ton of time to get into that here. If you'd like to read more on that, I'll have the article from Elon News Network as well as my other sources in the description below.
I'd just like to say I'm sorry for the way I behaved in my youth. I had a lot of self-doubt.
So yeah, Nick is alive and well. But how did viewers take this? Most people took it as very tongue-in-cheek and saw the whole thing as a fun interactive game for people to dissect and investigate. And he didn't sit on the fake death for very long, only being quote-unquote dead for 3 days, and even less time if you include the video with the letter H. That said, some people were still upset by the fact that he joked about being dead in the first place, and I don't entirely disagree with them. Death is a scary thing, and it's something that has or will affect all of us. So to see someone flagrantly pretend to have passed for some internet views and a joke could definitely rub some people the wrong way. These complaints wouldn't go unheard heard, as Nick would directly reply to at least one in a video.
It has come to my attention that a lot of people are shocked, disturbed, disappointed, and some may even say upset that I have seemingly faked my death on the internet. And to that subsection of people, I would like to extend my most sincere apology. I have taken the time to reflect on how my actions may have caused harm to you and my community, and all we can do from this point on is move forward together, hand in hand. As part of my apology, I'm excited to introduce my new merch lineup. These Sorry for Faking My Own Death t-shirts are now available immediately for purchase in my shop at the low price of $25. They're linked in my bio, so go buy one. I hope in your heart of hearts you can find the strength and empathy needed to move on from this and forgive me for my actions taken that have caused harm to this community. Again, all we can do from this point on is move forward. Love you guys. Sometimes people make a mistake, but it doesn't make them a horrible person. Whoa.
I'm sorry, but a Sorry for Faking My Death t-shirt is really f***ing funny. Like, I'm not defending his decision to fake the death, but the shirt is crazy. Also, the guitar and singing is rough, to say the least. I checked, by the way, and the shirt does exist, along with other merch, such as an I Committed Crimes shirt, and one that just says roommates in all caps. Now, I think it goes without saying that promoting merch on an apology video kinda kills any chance of anyone genuinely taking what you have to say to heart, though I don't think Nick really cared about that, or was trying to actually apologize. It's very opinionated on if people think he should or shouldn't have, and we could spend all day debating that. However, we're almost done with this rabbit hole, pun intended, so let's wrap things up.
Savage, this isn't the Stone Age, Hops. Animals don't go savage.
So what has he been up to lately? Have his posts kept the same lust for Judy Hopps seen in his early TikTok career?
I provide for you, never lie to you, keep you out of the mix, baby, you will never be.
Yeah, kinda. He did take a break from the bit to shit on Republicans recently, so that's a massive dub.
From my experience, Democrats are way less welcoming than Republicans. I have been unfriended by several Democrats because of slight political disagreements. Why can't we all just be friends?
Bro, you stormed the Capitol. Like, this was your team. Republicans did that. Democrats did not do that. And if the slight disagreements you have with your friends over politics is disagreements on human rights, and if they should have them or not, then I would unfriend you too. And to answer your question, why can't we all just be friends? I actually don't think that we are mean enough to you guys. Like, I think we need to bring back public bullying if it gets you to shut the fuck up.
He actually posted a few TikToks about the election and urging people to vote, which is good. I wish he'd remember to actually drop off these ballots, though. While sticking to the Judy Hopps bit, he has begun to branch out into other non-bunny related content, though, and has seen positive reactions to those posts as well. This is against the norm for content creators, as once you make a certain type of content, you can kind of get trapped in that box of expectations, and venturing out of said box can be really harmful to your engagement, so it's actually really cool to see him be able to keep that retention. One of the things he's been exploring a bit more is actually music. This isn't new for him, however, as he has done a cappella groups in the past, but him posting it was a new breath of fresh air. But how does it sound?
Pulled away, ran out the door, you screamed, I am the biggest mess that you have ever seen, and it's true. I don't know how to deal with all this bullshit, this nightmare that I'm living in, but if you aren't impressed by the best I have, I'm a collection of the people and the places that gave me a home, broke all my bones, told me I'm ready. My mother's rage, my father's pain, hereditary.
This short snippet took TikTok by storm. Who would have known that someone named JudyHoppsL0vr69 would write lyrics that make me stare longingly out my window, wondering if I'm living up to my full potential in this life or if I'm just a shell created out of those around me and ultimately will never be able to discover my true self and... Sorry, got a bit personal there. Point being, this was a great snippet, and people loved it. He had people urging him to make a full version and to release that onto Spotify, which I'm happy to announce he did as of November 1st. The rest of the song lives up to the snippet posted on TikTok too. A common issue with songs that are made for or get big on TikTok is that the 30 seconds or so shown are an absolute banger, and the rest of the song just kinda sucks. That's not the case here, or at least in my opinion. He also posted a snippet of another song he's apparently working on, so it appears as though this might become a regular thing. So here we are, the final part, where we ask the burning question. Is any of this even real? Is the obsession with Judy Hopps an actual infatuation he has, or has he been playing up a character for the past few years? Long story short, it's all satire. Again, he's in school to learn how to be an actor, so having an account where you're forced to play a character for going on 3 years has to be crazy good for learning, and Nick sees it that way as well. Nick described his portrayal of JudyHoppsL0vr69 as an exercise in keeping an audience engaged, as well as being interesting, appealing to a crowd, talking to a camera, and writing comedy. In a very weird way, my acting training has allowed me to do this, has allowed me to be creative in this way. At this point, everything I do on TikTok is for fun, both for me and the people that I'm making videos for. This whole thing was improvisational, where I was like, I've done so many crazy things, what's the next crazy thing I can do? This is also likely why his apology video was so dismissive and insensitive. The whole JudyHoppsL0vr thing is one big character, so even if he was sorry and wanted to apologize, that'd technically be out of character, so he couldn't, and instead had to reply like how JudyHoppsL0vr would. Or he's just not sorry, that's also an option. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I always knew, but it always seemed very strange to me just how obsessed he was, but at first it was pretty believable. There's some pretty strange people on the internet with wild obsessions. It was definitely the Disney lawsuit part where I was like, okay, this is starting to feel off. And of course the faking his death and blaming it on Disney trying to get rid of him was the nail in the coffin. It's unconfirmed if the lawsuit, cease and desist, or the January 6th catfishing bits are real as well, but I'm gonna guess that those were all various plot twists he created in the JudyHoppsL0vr69 saga. It's 3 a.m. and I'm almost done editing. It's been 12 hours, thank God. So we're to the end of the video. This ended up being a much bigger deep dive than I originally anticipated, so if you're still here watching, thank you so much. Have you heard of JudyHoppsL0vr69 before this video? What were your initial thoughts on him? Let me know in the comments down below. That said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!